Did you go to the crime scene or very near the crime scene on your way from your residence to, I guess, to lunch or to wherever you were going next?
No, I did not.
So you never turned on Trescott Drive that day?
I went to turn on Trescott Drive, but I saw that it had been blocked off by some tape, and so I just kept driving on Centerville.
Okay, and when you had to turn around at the tape, right, to go back out?
I think I tried to turn right, and it couldn't turn, so I would have made like the kind of turn, like a K-turn, and kept going.
Was there a roadblock there with?
There was tape.
Yeah, and an officer was there?
I didn't see an officer, but I did see a car.
Not even curious about what's going on in that street, by the way. So that was right around the time of the murders, or just after the murder of Dan Markel. So that's a big question. Was she going to visit the scene, make sure everything happened? Is that evidence that she knew something here? Julie Janae went back to the scene and has this report for us tonight.
What did Wendi Adelson see when she almost drove by a crime scene on July 18th of 2014? We're on Trescott Drive, where Dan Markel lived, and on the day that he was murdered, his ex-wife testified that she took this very street on her way to a liquor store before she was notified he'd been killed. Prosecutors allege that if she had no involvement, then the police cars and roadblock and crime scene tape on this street should have raised her alarm.
When you drove to ABC Liquor, you tried to go through Trescott. Is that fair to say?
It was blocked.
There are other ways to go to ABC Liquor, right? You could have gone down other roads.
I don't have the best sense of direction, so when I find a route, I just kind of keep using that route.
We retraced Wendy's route that day. She would have been coming from Centerville Road, a more commercial street, and she left Centerville to pass through Benton Hills on Trescott Drive, a much more residential road with several caution signs. Then it takes us another 2.5 minutes after leaving Centerville Road to get close to Markel's home on Trescott. Wendi testified to something different. She said she barely made it onto Trescott before she saw police.
I went to turn on Trescott Drive, but I saw that it had been blocked off by some tape, and so I just kept driving on Centerville. There was tape.
Yeah, and an officer was there?
I didn't see an officer, but I did see a car.
A law enforcement marked vehicle?
This is around where that police roadblock would have been, according to the officer on the scene's testimony. Wendi claimed she couldn't see what was happening at Markel's house from her car. It's the one you see there with the brick mailbox. It's about 2 houses from that speed hump sign. And the road winds out to where it's more visible to see that mailbox, but you can't make out exactly because of the trees, the actual house building.
Basically, the investigators and the crime scene techs taking their portion. And the crime scene tech vehicles are marked police and have lights on them and stuff.
Would it have been obvious to someone approaching your position in a vehicle that there was activity, law enforcement activity going on at that residence?
It seems likely.
If the roadblock was set up where Officer Bill Brandon recalled, between 3 and 6 houses away from the scene, it appears emergency vehicles parked along this narrow road would have been visible and obvious to drivers, but the car where Markel was ambushed, it would have been out of sight.
I just assumed it was weather, or maybe a tree fell.
Did you attempt to call Dan Markel when you encountered the roadblock?
No, I didn't think anything of it.
After Wendi Adelson was turned around at this location, she completed her stop at the store and then went to lunch with friends. It's there that an investigator interrupted that lunch to let her know the tragic news of her ex-husband's shooting.
All right, let's bring back in our guests, Bob Motta, Carl Steinbeck, Dave Arenberg. Dave, an incredible lack of curiosity and that little drive with the police. I mean, yeah, I know there's activity from time to time in Tallahassee, right? I get it, but like that's pretty close to, your ex-husband's house where, your children spend a lot of time. No curiosity whatsoever.
Yeah, Vinny, and the liquor store where she could have purchased the gift or the item was right near her house. She had to go way out of her way to get to this particular liquor store right near her ex-husband's house, Danny's house. So that has raised a lot of eyebrows. Why would you go all the way out of your way to buy a bottle of liquor? Now, she's saying that she was having lunch, but still, it really is a big question, along with the question you just brought up. No curiosity. You don't call Danny. Now, after she was brought in for questioning, she did not have a lawyer. She was teary-eyed and spoke freely without any attorney present. And when I saw that, I thought, well, she clearly has nothing to hide. She's not involved in this. Now, since then, a lot of evidence has come out that makes me think otherwise.
Carl Steinbeck, you know, we think about, she's the one with the motive, right? This benefits her more than anyone because she's the one that wanted her children and wanted to be with her family. Yet, no charges yet. She keeps testifying with this level of immunity that she gets to testify. What do you think about Wendi Adelson and her potential involvement or potentially being charged?
I think this is a dry run, the trial right now for Charlie, her brother. And they actually proved in court that she's been lying about multiple things. She committed perjury in this trial, not to mention other trials as well against the hitman and the conduit, Katie. But basically, she had lied about whether she allowed unfettered access for Dan Markel's parents. She testified in this trial that they had unfettered access, but there was an agent that came on today that said for a 6-year period, they had 0 visitation, and only after there was some legal engagement and a law passed was she basically able to then get access to the kids. And one thing that didn't come out is the kids have never actually been alone with their grandparents, the Markels from Canada. They've never been to Canada and have never even been to the grave of their own father.
Wow. Okay. Bob, I want you to take a listen to more testimony here. This is Sergeant Corbett talking about, again, some text messages involving Wendi.
So here we have also included the information from Wendi Adelson's forensic extraction or her Cellbrite report. So we're able to see other things that were contained in her phone. And one of the first things we see is that she had a calendar entry for that day for listed as fixed TV.
Now we see that it's deleted.
Yes.
When would that have been deleted?
Sometime prior to our analysis of the handset.
And your analysis of the handset was done that same day?
It was done, yes, the afternoon of the 18th.
Okay. So this calendar event, fixed TV, was deleted at some point before her phone was taken by law enforcement and looked at that afternoon?
That's correct.
Okay. Go ahead.
Then we see that there is an outbound call from Wendi Adelson to Donna Adelson.
And that's starting at 8:09 in the morning?
That's correct.
Okay.
An immediate return attempt. And then a text message. Again, this is from Wendi Adelson's handset itself, but there is a return text message or a text message from Donna Adelson to Wendi communicating about Best Buy and coming by for the repair of the TVs.
Okay, she says, Best Buy just called me and I told them to confirm with you. They are on their way over now to help you with the TV set in your living room.
Yes.
Okay. All right, what's next?
We have a text from Wendi Adelson to Charlie Adelson stating, "This is so sweet."
We see that that's deleted.
It is, yes.
That would have also been deleted prior to law enforcement analyzing her cell phone that afternoon, the same day as Dan Markel's murder?
That's correct.
All right, Bob Mata, anything suspicious about those particular erasures of text messages? And what do you think of the whole back and forth about the TV repair that was happening that morning?
I mean, the Adelsons and their TVs, you know? I mean, it's quite a thing. They love TVs, Vinny. They love TVs. Yeah, I mean, when you look at everything in the full context, it's incredibly damning. You know, I mean, timing is everything. And, you know, clearly they're all using code, all of them. None of them are stupid enough to openly be texting about a hit. So clearly, you know, they landed on the TV thing, and that has persisted throughout this entire nightmare. And, you know, the most disgusting text of them all is the sweet text. You know, I mean, it just shows to me how depraved this entire family is, really. You know, I mean, to consider that to be a sweet gesture is next level depravity.